in-town advertising. So then we get to actual bills on the final.
Well, this is what people really look at. It's great to talk about the theories of how you set rates, but what people really care about is what's their bill. So this is what people are going to get.
Right. So as you can see, in alternative A, everyone is pretty much getting an increase because it's the same block rate structure, only where it has a 30 to 3% increase from water to sewer. And alternative B, the small users definitely getting a huge discount because that fixed charge has dropped dramatically, and since they're only using a small amount of usage anyway, their user charges are very minimal as well. C, the small user is still getting a discount, but as you can see, if you go to the very bottom, the very large user isn't going up that much as well, because the more usage that you use, the less that fixed charge really matters, because they're using so much water and sewer. D and E are probably what look the most appealing, because as you can see, the low user is still getting a break. That small, single old lady that lives by herself who's using that much water isn't going to be getting an increase in her water and sewer bill. Your bulk of your customers are seeing, a $30 increase in their bill, but they were going to be seeing an increase no matter what we do. And then the large users are also seeing a larger increase from these bills. And these, just to point out, these are the in-town bills. And then on the next sheet are out-of-town bills. Which act fairly similarly. So I don't know if there's a specific alternative that is appealing to you right now that you think looks good. If you like to have the 3,000 or 6,000 gallons of usage included in your fixed charge, or you want to stay with the 9,000 gallons. Personally, having 43% of your customers fall in that fixed charge of usage included seems a bit large. That's what would be best for the town.
This is one of those situations where there's no right answer. No matter what you do, somebody's going to be hurt financially. But you need to take action to make the water system whole. Sewer systems in pretty decent shape to include all of the water system and in its financial health. Because you're running a deficit, trying to get water.
If you go to the 6,000 gallons including the fixed charge, that's going to affect about 23% of your customers. About a quarter of your customers are going to be included in that 0 to 6,000 gallons. Go back to showing all 5 again. Just in case you guys have any questions.
Guys, any questions? Concerns?
Anyone in particular just jump out at it, or you just run?
I have a question with the 3 R's for the repair, replacement, and rehabilitation that you said we did not have in the past.
Right.
Our water and sewer hookup fees that we charge now, doesn't that go for infrastructure only?
For major projects.
But major
That's why I call that
projects,
major facility
not
repair.
for
Okay.
repair.
That's why it's like $10,000 more project.
Your hookup charges, the fee that somebody pays when they join the system, you can only use legally, I'm no lawyer, so I may not be using precise legal terms, but in a lot of situations, you can only use that money to pay, to either pay for capacity that customers are going to use, either capacity you're going to build or capacity you've already built, and their money is helping to pay for it. You can't use it to hold down operating costs, and you can't use it to fix deficiencies in the system. Because if you do, your new customers and or real estate developers will be all over you and you'll lose. So it's gotta be used to build capacity. The repair, renewal, rehabilitation reserve is ideally, there's some things that are major in nature. They don't happen every year, but every couple of years. And you want to have some money put aside to help pay for them. If you had a really detailed capital improvement plan, you could say every year we're going to reinvest based on how old our lines are. We know we should reinvest so many hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars. And this is to help pay for things like that when they come along. Things that don't necessarily happen every year, but do happen regularly. Things that aren't big enough that you want to go out and bond them because it costs too much to issue bonds. So they're for major kind of capital things to keep things going to make them last longer.
Over about 95% of your net revenue requirement is your operating expenses. So nothing else is really going to move, but I think that's what that is.
I heard you mention that about the operating expenses for breakdowns, and how does include the warranty on the service of the plant? I mean, how do you come up with a number when you?
The numbers came from your budget. I mean, the actual numbers for operating expenses came from your budget as either approved or as proposed, whatever the most recent version of the budget was that was available to us. And in terms of warranties on equipment, different pieces of equipment in your plan have different kind of warranties. A new plan is going to have warranties on things that typically last a couple of years at least. Some things, you know, put a roof on something, you may get a 20-year warranty. But, the kind of equipment that's involved in sewage treatment plants or water treatment plants, different warranties. You may get a motor with a warranty for 5 years. You may get something else with a warranty for 10 years, something else with a warranty for 1 year.
Yeah, but I hear that when you say for major breakdowns I mean, we're guessing that.
I mean, they are estimates. You don't, and I'm not saying this is a criticism of you, you're very typical of a municipality of this size. You don't have really detailed data about assets, about when they were installed, about, you don't have a fancy electronic mapping system that says, we've got this line that's had 7 breaks in the last 15 years, so we know that it's time to rebuild this line. You have a staff that's very knowledgeable and carry a lot of things in their heads. You've got a lot of paper records, but it's hard to take that data and make a lot of sense out of it. And so you budget conservatively so that when things go belly up, you have some money to pay for things. Because if you a big line break, you could always raise rates, but it's going to be 6 or 9 months till you really start seeing the revenue from raising the rates, and you need the cash now to do the repairs. So it's like having a savings account at home. You got to have some money to pay for things when the hot water heater goes bad and stuff like that. It's similar in nature, although a lot bigger dollars.
But what the budget is showing that is counting the taxpayers to pay for a break that may be covered under warranty. You can't take that back once you start raising rates for.
If you build a reserve and don't use it, then you stop contributing to it. You don't keep on doing it every year. And some years you may spend a lot of money out of the reserve, and other years no money. I mean, you can't just run the system and not have any reserves at all. I mean, I guarantee you something will go wrong with you. You don't want to have too much money sitting there, because in the public sector, having too much money sitting around is just as bad as not having enough money. So you got to make the constant trade-off of how much is enough. And the reserve amounts that we're suggesting are in line with industry standards. And once you build the reserve, if you don't need to draw enough in a given year, and the following year, you don't have to contribute to it.
You got rate alternative D and E are the same as far as water and sewer rates. Whether it includes 3,000 or 6,000. So basically most of our customers are in the, you got 20% here. 23% out of town. Where's the difference at? I mean, is there, I mean, we're still getting the same amount either way, right?
Yes.
I mean, the difference is on, number one is you'd be giving a break to the smaller user, 6,000, or the 6,000 user. It just depends on who you want. Do you want to have a 6,000 gallon user getting all of that in a fixed charge? Or do you want them to be paying for 3,000 gallons because they're using 6?
Okay. Any other questions?
I have one question. We get these studies done and everything, I'm certain, I've seen you people before and I've heard from